Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Pocket Change Coins, that takes ordinary coins and reveals the extraordinary stories and values hidden inside them. If you've got some spare change lying around, first episode is one you absolutely don't want to miss. We're diving into a coin that's relatively new, yet already shaking up the world of collectors and rare coin enthusiasts. It's the 2021 US quarter dollar, the one that features the historic and powerful image of George Washington crossing the Delaware River. At first glance, it might just look like any other quarter minted in the past few years. But don't let the modern date fool you. This coin has some surprising secrets, and if you're lucky enough to find a certain version of it, you could be holding a serious fortune. Let's start with the backstory. 2021 marked the end of the wildly popular America the Beautiful Quarters program, which featured state and national park designs on the reverse side of the quarter from 2010 through early 2021. But then something unique happened. Rather than immediately launching into the American Women Quarter series, the U.S. Mint decided to release a transitional coin, a standalone design to honor one of the most iconic moments in American history. Enter the Crossing the Delaware quarter. The reverse of this coin shows General George Washington heroically leading the Continental Army across the frozen Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. The design is dramatic and dynamic. Washington stands tall in his boat, sword drawn, with troops rowing behind him. It's a powerful image of courage, strategy, and leadership. And it pays tribute to a moment that changed the course of the American Revolution. Now, on the obverse side, we still see the familiar portrait of George Washington, but not the same one you've seen for years. The Mint brought back the original 1932 John Flanagan design to pair with this new reverse, giving the coin a classic meets modern feel. The Mint mark D stands for the Denver Mint, which produced a substantial portion of these coins. Here's where things get really interesting. Despite being a newer coin, the 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter has become a hot item in the collecting world, and not just because of its design. As always, what really sets a coin apart is the combination of rarity, condition, and error. Yes, even this recent quarter has been found with unusual minting errors that drive collectors wild. We're talking about misstrikes, die clashes, doubling in the lettering or the date, off-center strikes, and even retained die breaks, where part of the die used to strike the coin cracks, leaving behind raised lines or unusual textures. In one particular variety, collectors discovered a strong die chip on Washington's hat or sword, sometimes referred to by hobbyists as a droop hat or sword hilt error. These small variations, while subtle, are prized because they were never intended to exist. They are genuine mistakes made during the minting process, making them incredibly rare, especially if the coin is also in pristine, uncirculated condition. And let's talk about condition for a moment. Most coins, once they're released into circulation, start to show wear almost immediately. A trip through a vending machine, a ride in someone's pocket with car keys, or a few weeks of being tossed around in a register can knock the grade down significantly. But a coin that was never circulated? One that has sharp edges, bold details, and a brilliant luster? That's the kind of coin that grabs attention. That's the kind of coin that collectors will pay top dollar to own. Now imagine combining one of these rare 2021 D minting errors with a flawless condition, mint state 68, 69, or even higher. That's when this modern coin suddenly becomes anything but ordinary. What's even more exciting is that these coins are still out there in the wild. You might get one in change. You might find one in a bank roll. Because they're so recent, the search is still very much on, and collectors everywhere are on the hunt. So what should you do if you come across a 2021 D crossing the Delaware quarter? First, examine it closely. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look for any doubling in the letters or numbers. Study Washington's hat, his sword, and the surrounding fields for any raised bumps, chips, or strange textures. Then, assess the condition. Is it scratched or dull, or is it sharp, glossy, and seemingly untouched? If you suspect you found something special, your next move is to get it graded by a professional coin grading service. They'll authenticate the coin, verify any errors, and give it a condition rating that directly impacts its value. And now, here comes the part you've all been waiting for. 1. Remarkable 2021 D US quarter dollar, featuring a rare and dramatic minting error, in near-perfect uncirculated condition, was recently valued and sold for an unbelievable total of $45,000. Yes. You heard that right. $45,000, for a quarter minted just a few short years ago. It just goes to show, even the newest coins can hold incredible surprises. And the best part? These hidden gems are still out there, still waiting to be found, so keep your eyes open. Keep checking your change. And don't underestimate the power of a coin that looks brand new. It might just carry a value beyond anything you ever imagined. Second rare coin, we've got a special episode that's bound to make you take a second look at some of your pocket change. We're diving into the 2000 Virginia State Quarter, the coin that commemorates one of the most important states in American history. Now, the Virginia State Quarter was part of the highly popular 50 State Quarters program that began in 1999 and lasted through 2008. If you're unfamiliar with this series, each state got its own quarter to honor its unique history, culture, and contributions to the nation. In 2000, it was Virginia's turn to be immortalized in coin form, and the result was a quarter that beautifully captured the essence of the Old Dominion state. On the reverse side of the coin, we see a dramatic image of Virginia's famous 1607 colonial seal. It shows the Roman goddess Virtus, standing with a sword in one hand and a spear in the other, triumphantly stepping over a defeated tyrant, who represents tyranny. The symbolism here is profound. It represents Virginia's long-standing fight for liberty and justice, making it a coin rich in both history and meaning. Above this powerful image, you'll find the words, Virginia 1788, signifying the year the state ratified the U.S. Constitution. What makes this particular quarter stand out from the rest of the state quarters isn't just the symbolism, it's also the potential hidden value that might be lurking within your collection. Sure, most 2000 Virginia state quarters may appear to be just another coin, especially when they're passed around in circulation. But like many coins, their true value can often be hidden in the details. It's all about rarity, condition, and, most importantly, mint errors. These are the factors that separate a standard quarter from one worth thousands of dollars. So, what exactly makes a 2000 Virginia State Quarter worth so much? Well, first off, you need to understand that coins minted in high numbers are usually not rare. In fact, the U.S. Mint produced more than 500 million of these Virginia quarters across all mints. The Denver Mint, where this particular quarter was produced, was responsible for the bulk of them, meaning finding one in a pristine or error-free state might not seem like such a big deal. But that's where it gets interesting. The 2000 Virginia State Quarter has been known to have some rare minting errors that collectors are absolutely obsessed with. These errors can drastically increase the value of the coin. The most commonly sought-after error is the double die. In these cases, the coin appears to have an image that is slightly doubled, especially in the date or in the word liberty. This error happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or worn out, creating a blurry, duplicated effect. And if you happen to have one of these coins with the error clearly visible, well, you're holding something incredibly rare. Then, there are the off-center strikes. These occur when the coin doesn't land perfectly in the die during the minting process, resulting in a design that appears off-center. These coins are extremely rare and can be worth a lot of money, especially when they're in good condition, but the true treasure lies in the combination of error and condition. Most of these Virginia state quarters were used in circulation and have been worn down over time. Finding one in uncirculated or near mint condition, especially with a rare error, can really boost its value. So, how can you identify if you have one of these valuable Virginia quarters? First, start by closely inspecting the coin's surface. Look for any signs of a double die, double lettering or double digits in the date or liberty. Next, check the alignment. Is the design perfectly centered, or does it appear to be off in some way? Finally, take a good look at the coin's condition. Coins that have been kept in a safe place, free from the daily wear and tear of circulation, are going to be much more valuable than those that have seen years of handling. And now for the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to have an uncirculated 2000 Virginia state quarter with a noticeable mint error, or even one that's in fantastic condition and happens to have an off-center strike or double die, you could be looking at a coin that's worth a whopping $45,000, yes, that's right, $45,000. For a single quarter. It might sound too good to be true, but for rare and well-preserved coins with significant mint errors, the sky's the limit. So, what does this mean for you? It's time to go through your old change, check your coin jars, and even search through your rolls of quarters. Because that everyday quarter you almost overlooked could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Third expensive coin, we're going to dive into the iconic Texas State Quarter, minted in 2004, as part of the 50 State Quarters program. This coin isn't just a symbol of Texas, it represents the state's rich history, pride, and contributions to the United States. But more than that, it has something unique that could make it a real gem in the world of numismatics. The Texas State Quarter was issued in 2004, and like other state quarters from the program, it was designed to celebrate the history and culture of the state. The reverse side of this coin shows the bold, proud image of a lone star, with a background featuring a single majestic star from the Texas flag and an outline of the state. Surrounding this design is the inscription, Texas 1845, commemorating the year Texas became the 28th state to join the Union. At first glance, it seems like just another state quarter, right? But don't let the appearance fool you, this coin has become a favorite among collectors for a few very good reasons. For one, Texas is known for its larger-than-life persona, and it's no surprise that the state's quarter also has a rather big reputation in the coin-collecting world. The Texas State Quarter was among the most popular releases in the 50 State Quarters program, so it's easy to think they're all common. However, the key to unlocking the potential value lies in a combination of rarity, mint errors, and condition. Let's talk about rarity for a second. Even though millions of these Texas quarters were minted by the U.S. Mint, that doesn't mean they're all the same. Not every coin is created equal, and the state of the coin when it's minted, and how it's been treated since then, makes a huge difference. Most Texas quarters went into circulation and have been subject to the usual wear and tear, scratches, fading, and the general degradation that comes with being handled over the years. However, coins that have been kept in pristine condition, free from scratches or stains, are much rarer. And it's these coins that attract the most attention from collectors and investors alike, but there's more to it than just condition. As with many other coins from the 50 State Quarters program, some Texas quarters were produced with minting errors. And in the world of coin collecting, these errors can make all the difference. Error coins are highly sought after because they're incredibly rare and were never meant to exist. A slight misalignment of the die, a doubled design, or even a wrong minting mark can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something extraordinary. For example, some Texas quarters have been found with double die errors, where part of the design, like the word Texas or the number 1845, appears to be double-struck. These are the kinds of errors that immediately grab the attention of collectors, because they're so unusual and rare. Even more intriguing are off-center strikes, which happen when the coin isn't perfectly aligned when it's pressed, resulting in a portion of the design being cut off. These error coins often become highly valuable, and let's not forget about die cracks or die chips, which can create raised, distorted areas on the coin. These flaws are often small, but they can make a coin significantly more valuable, especially if they appear in the right places, like across the design of the Lone Star or the state outline. Now, what makes this even more exciting is the fact that a coin from the 2004 Texas series in top condition, with a rare mint error, could be worth far more than just face value. You could be sitting on a small fortune if you happen to find the right combination of error and mint condition. So how do you go about identifying one of these valuable coins? The first thing you want to do is inspect the coin closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for any signs of minting errors. Look closely at the letters and numbers. Are there any signs of doubling? Is there an area where the design is slightly off-center? Does the coin have any raised lines or cracks that might indicate a die error? Next, assess the condition. Is your coin shiny and almost new-looking, or is it worn from years of circulation? Coins that are kept in good condition, free from major scratches or discoloration, will fetch much higher prices. If the coin looks almost like it just came off the mint press, it could be worth significantly more. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to find a 2004 Texas state quarter with a minting error and it's in mint or near mint condition, it could fetch an astounding $30,000. Yes, that's right, $30,000 for a coin that might seem pretty ordinary at first glance. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, even seemingly simple coins can hide significant value if you know what to look for. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a few coins stashed away in a drawer, it's worth taking a second look at your 2004 Texas state quarters. There could be a hidden treasure waiting for you. Specially, we're going to shine a spotlight on a particularly special coin, the 2006 Nebraska state quarter, part of the renowned 50 state quarters program. This coin was released in 2006 to commemorate Nebraska's entry into the Union. Now, the Nebraska quarter might seem like just another coin in the series, but trust us, there's more to this humble quarter than meets the eye. As we dive deeper into its design, history, and potential value, you'll see why it's become a favorite among collectors. First, let's talk about the design of this quarter. On the reverse side, you'll find a beautiful representation of Nebraska's iconic features. It features a steamboat gliding down the Missouri River, accompanied by a blazing sun on the horizon. The inscription, Nebraska 1867, is prominently displayed, marking the year Nebraska became the 37th state to join the United States. This design symbolizes the importance of the river to the state's history, particularly in trade and settlement, and it captures the spirit of Nebraska's past perfectly. The coin also features the words, the Cornhusker State, which is a nod to Nebraska's nickname. The state is known for its rich agricultural industry, especially its corn production, and this nickname is something Nebraskans wear proudly. So, when you look at this quarter, you're not just looking at a piece of currency, you're looking at a symbol of Nebraska's heritage, its economic roots, and the hard work of its people. While the Nebraska state quarter may seem like a typical memento in the 50 state quarters series, it's actually one of the more intriguing coins for collectors. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins, so you might think that they're easily found in circulation. However, the true value of a Nebraska quarter comes from its rarity in pristine condition and the possibility of minting errors. As with many coins in the 50 state quarters series, a Nebraska quarter's value can vary dramatically depending on its condition. Most of these coins saw a lot of circulation, so they tend to show signs of wear and tear. The more worn the coin, the less valuable it typically is. However, if you happen to have one in mint condition, a coin that looks almost as if it just came off the mint press, you could have something really special. Coins in near-perfect condition, especially when they've been well preserved, are always in demand among collectors, and their value tends to rise significantly. Now, let's get to the part that really gets collectors excited: mint errors. These are the mistakes that occur during the production process and can make a coin worth far more than its face value. For example, one of the most valuable types of errors is the double die. This occurs when a coin is struck multiple times, causing part of the design to appear blurry or doubled. If you have a Nebraska quarter with a noticeable double die error, it could be worth far more than the average coin. Another error to keep an eye out for is off-center strikes. When a coin is misaligned during the minting process, the design may not appear fully on the coin. These off-center strikes can give the coin a unique look, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them because they are so rare. Additionally, there are die cracks and die chips that can show up on a coin surface. These occur when the die that strikes the coin begins to wear down or develop flaws. Sometimes, these cracks or chips will appear on the surface of the coin, and while they may seem small, they can significantly increase a coin's value depending on their location and severity. If you're wondering how to spot these mint errors, it's really about paying attention to the fine details. Look at the text, the images, and the design elements on the coin. Are any of them doubled or out of place? Take a close look at the rim of the coin too, as that's where off-center strikes and some types of errors tend to be most noticeable. And if you happen to find a Nebraska quarter that appears in perfect condition and has one of these minting errors, you could be sitting on a real treasure. Here's the exciting part: if you have a 2006 Nebraska state quarter with one of these rare minting errors or in near perfect condition, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $25,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $25,000. It might be hard to believe, but it's true. Coins with rare mint errors or in pristine condition can fetch prices far above their face value. In the world of numismatics, certain coins like this can be worth more than you ever imagined. If you happen to find one of these rare treasures, you'll have a valuable piece of American history in your hands. So, how do you make sure you're checking your Nebraska state quarters thoroughly? Well, it all starts with a careful inspection. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to get a closer look at the details. Check the design for any doubling, misalignment, or unusual marks. If you find one in great condition or with any mint errors, you could be looking at a serious collector's item. Before we wrap things up, remember that coin collecting is all about attention to detail. It's not just about finding rare coins, it's about knowing what to look for and appreciating the history behind each one. And who knows? That coin jar you've been storing away might hold a hidden gem worth thousands of dollars. Next coin, we're diving into one of the most sought-after coins in the 50 State Quarter series, the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter. Now, at first glance, you might think this is just another one of those state-themed coins. But trust me, there's much more to this particular quarter than you might expect. The Kentucky State Quarter is full of rich history and, for collectors, it holds the potential for some truly impressive value. So, stick around as we explore the unique features of this coin, its design, and how it can potentially earn you big money. Released in 2001, the Kentucky State Quarter was the 15th coin in the 50 State Quarters program. As part of this program, the U.S. Mint sought to honor each state's history and heritage through its own unique design. Kentucky's quarter features some incredible imagery, drawing from the state's agricultural history and its cultural contributions to the United States. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a depiction of a thoroughbred racehorse and a detailed image of a fence, which is symbolic of Kentucky's famous horse racing industry. The state's nickname, the Bluegrass State, is also prominently featured, along with the year Kentucky entered the Union, 1792. The imagery of the horse is particularly significant, as Kentucky is known worldwide for breeding some of the finest racehorses. The Kentucky Derby is one of the most prestigious horse races in the world, and the horse featured on this coin captures that spirit of grace, strength, and speed. The inclusion of the fence further emphasizes Kentucky's agricultural roots, as the state has a long-standing tradition of farming, particularly with tobacco, corn, and of course, the prized thoroughbreds. But what makes the Kentucky Quarter really special? Aside from its stunning design and the pride it represents for the state of Kentucky, the real value of this coin lies in its condition and the possibility of minting errors. While millions of Kentucky state quarters were minted and circulated, not every one of them is created equal. As with all coins, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Most of the coins you'll come across have been in circulation for years and have suffered the typical wear and tear from daily use. However, those that have been carefully preserved in mint condition are far rarer and much more desirable to collectors. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Some of the Kentucky quarters were minted with unique errors, which can increase their value exponentially. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and these mistakes can make a coin stand out among the rest. For example, some Kentucky quarters feature a double die error, where part of the design is struck twice, causing parts of the image to appear doubled. These double die errors are incredibly rare and are often worth much more than a typical coin. Another error to look out for is off-center strikes. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be shifted to one side. These off-center strikes are considered highly collectible, as they are unique and often seen as a sign of the coin's rarity. There are also other minting errors, such as die cracks or die chips, which may appear as raised lines or marks on the coin. While these may seem minor to the untrained eye, they are highly sought after by collectors because they make the coin one of a kind. If you're fortunate enough to find a Kentucky state quarter with one of these mint errors, you could be looking at a coin that's worth much more than its face value. But even if your coin is in mint condition without any errors, it can still be worth a significant amount of money, as coins in pristine condition are always in demand. Now, you might be wondering just how much a Kentucky state quarter could actually be worth. Well, here's the exciting part. If you happen to have a 2001 Kentucky State Quarter in perfect uncirculated condition or with a rare mint error, it could be worth an incredible $75,000, yes, that's right, $75,000 for a single coin. It might sound unbelievable, but this is the kind of value that a rare, error-free, or mint-condition coin can bring in the right market. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and coins like this one prove that a small, seemingly ordinary coin can hold immense value if you know what to look for. So, how can you determine if your Kentucky State Quarter is worth this much? First, take a close look at the condition of the coin. Is it shiny and well preserved, with no noticeable wear, scratches, or discoloration? If so, you might have a coin that is worth far more than its face value. Then, inspect the design closely. Check for any signs of mint errors like double die, off-center strikes, or other unique features that set the coin apart from the rest. The best way to ensure you're not missing out on a rare find is to take your coin to a professional grader. Grading services can evaluate the condition of your coin and assign it a grade that reflects its value in the market. This is particularly important for collectors and investors, as coins that are graded higher tend to fetch more money. So, the next time you come across a 2001 Kentucky State Quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to carefully examine it. You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Whether it's in perfect condition, or you find a rare mint error, this quarter could be worth a small fortune. Last unique coin, we're diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the U.S. State's Quarter program, the 1999 New Jersey State Quarter. This coin is not only a beautiful piece of American history, but it also holds significant value for collectors, especially if you know what to look for. The New Jersey State Quarter was released in 1999, and it's the third coin in the state series. This quarter commemorates New Jersey's entry into the Union as the third state, back in 1787. As part of the 50 State Quarters program, each coin in the series is designed to reflect something unique about the state it represents. New Jersey's quarter, though it might look simple at first glance, carries a lot of history and symbolism. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll notice a design featuring George Washington crossing the Delaware River during the American Revolutionary War. The crossing of the Delaware River was a pivotal moment in American history, and this design represents New Jersey's vital role in the fight for independence. George Washington, as you can imagine, holds a special place in American history, and his image on this quarter adds a layer of patriotism and historical significance. The coin also includes an inscription that reads, New Jersey 1787, reminding us of the year the state ratified the U.S. Constitution and became part of the fledgling nation. And the phrase, the Garden State, is proudly displayed, referencing New Jersey's long-standing agricultural legacy. Known for its fertile land and farms, New Jersey earned this nickname, which is still used today to describe its vibrant landscape. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is just another commemorative coin. But here's where things get interesting. While the 1999 New Jersey Quarter was part of a larger release, not all of these coins are created equal. The value of a coin depends on a number of factors, including its condition, rarity, and whether it has any unique minting errors. And that's where the true value of the New Jersey Quarter lies. Just like other state quarters, the New Jersey coin was produced in large quantities, meaning that it was widely circulated. Over the years, many of these coins have been worn down from constant use, and the ones in poor condition aren't worth much more than their face value. However, coins in pristine or uncirculated condition are far rarer and can command significantly higher prices in the market. If you come across a 1999 New Jersey Quarter that's still in excellent shape, you're already ahead of the game. But what really excites collectors are the mint errors. As with many coins, mistakes happen during the production process, and these errors can drastically increase the value of a coin. For instance, if your New Jersey Quarter shows signs of a double die error, where part of the design is struck twice, the coin becomes far more valuable than the standard issue. These errors are especially rare, and collectors are willing to pay big money for a coin that stands out because of a minting flaw. Another error that makes a coin more valuable is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that is shifted to one side. An off-center New Jersey quarter can have a unique, misaligned appearance that collectors covet, as it's considered a rare find. There are also die cracks and die chips that might appear on the coin. These flaws happen when the die used to strike the coin starts to wear down or develop cracks. While these might seem like small imperfections to some, they can actually increase a coin's appeal to collectors. If the crack or chip is in a noticeable location or creates a distinct pattern, it can make the coin much more valuable. When it comes to assessing the value of the 1999 New Jersey quarter, one thing to keep in mind is the rarity of these errors. While millions of these coins were minted, only a small number of them will have these minting imperfections. So, if you're lucky enough to find one of these error coins, your New Jersey quarter could be worth far more than you think. And here's the exciting part: a 1999 New Jersey state quarter in mint condition or with a rare mint error could be worth as much as $80,000. Yes, you read that right, $80,000 for a single coin. That's the kind of value that some of these rare, error-laden quarters can hold. Imagine finding a coin that was sitting in your change jar, worth just 25 cents, and realizing it's actually worth a small fortune. So, how do you know if your 1999 New Jersey quarter could be worth this much? First, you'll want to inspect the condition of the coin. Look for any visible wear and tear, such as scratches, discoloration, or dents. If it looks almost as good as new, you could have a coin that's worth a lot more than just a quarter. Then, check for any mint errors, like a double die or off-center strike. These little details can make a huge difference in the value of your coin. If you're not sure whether your coin has any errors, you can always take it to a professional grader. A coin grading service can evaluate its condition and assign it a grade based on its rarity and quality. Coins that receive high grades from professional graders are usually worth more, so it's worth having an expert take a look. Before we wrap things up, remember that coin collecting is about more than just finding rare coins. It's about appreciating the history, the artistry, and the stories behind them. Every coin has a story to tell, and the 1999 New Jersey state quarter is no different. From George Washington's famous crossing to the state's agricultural roots, this coin is a snapshot of American history that could hold tremendous value for the right collector. So, the next time you come across a 1999 New Jersey state quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. Who knows? You might just have a hidden treasure worth thousands of dollars sitting right in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future coin discoveries. And if you've ever found a rare coin or have a story to share, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Happy hunting, and remember, sometimes, a small coin can be worth a whole lot more than you think.